Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're cleaning up another 100 vintage Penguin books from the Epic collection. This time it's the main series books from 1300 to 1400. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, framed for hanging. Well, let's hope not, eh? So it's been a few days since I've had chance to do any book cleaning. So I'm getting withdrawal symptoms, I've got to say. But I have done a couple of other videos to get my channel back on track. It's been a little bit waylaid. And I have received an enormous amount of wants lists in the last 24 hours, probably about 20. So I thought I'd better crack on and clean up another 100 books, which is what I'm doing here right now. It's just starting to come away. I've got one customer who's looking for books, and his list goes up to 1,500. So I need to do this 100 and then the next 100, and then I've got a nice pile of about 20 books for him. This one wasn't bad, but it was just coming away a little. There we are. Thurber's Dogs is one I've definitely got. And this 100 will be like the previous hundreds. I've got like 40 to 50% of the run. And Alan himself, sometimes the run is complete, it's got all 100. Other times there's a few odd ones missing. So it's meaning that I'll probably have a handful missing by the time I've been through, compared copies, and then like filled in the gaps of my own. Some of the copies I've put, I'm happy to have a copy because I didn't have one at all. But sometimes they're a little bit too grubby for my collection. So this one, I don't think I've got it, but I'll probably end up putting it in the collection, but also have a little upgrade next to it because it is a little bit grubby and a little bit the worse for wear, but it's still okay rather than having no copy at all, you know. This one's quite nice, but it's the first of what I'm sure will be plenty of tape to take off. Has been almost one of the little trademarks of this collection. There we are. Pretty sure I've got this one. I do like this little sub-series of Penguin short stories. They're quite attractive, those. Monarch of the Glen. So it's an absolutely boiling day today. I'm doing this one not quite mid-August, sort of the first week of August, and it's the UK is going through a bit of a heat wave at the moment, which I guarantee will not last, but it does mean it's really, really hot here in the studio. But that's okay. We're also dog sitting at the moment. Got my daughter's dog here with us for a week, and so far he's been a good boy. He's let me film my videos. We'll see if that remains. He doesn't tend to bark much, but some of the neighbours' dogs do. So there you go. It's not very nice weather if you're a dog and it's really, really hot. You got that big thick coat on. The Case of the Careless Kitten. Well, this one's got a bit of water damage, so once again, if I haven't already got this one, it'll end up going on my upgrade list, but I think it's good enough to keep for now. But generally speaking, with a few exceptions of course, but generally speaking, anything post 1,000 is reasonably priced. You shouldn't have to pay a fortune for it. Yeah, got a bit of water damage, that one. So typical crime, isn't it? Take 2 at bedtime. Yeah, really nice. Looks like a little 5p on the front there. The volcano's above us. Forster. And another little trademark of the collection is Alan, the previous owner, had often, not always, but often noted where and what date he purchased the book. And thankfully he wrote them in pencil, so I was able, in most cases, to get the little annotations out without too much trouble. Certainly a common practice. Lots of people do that, but it's great for yourself, but not great when you come to sell the book, because it means nothing to the person who's buying it. It's just basically a distraction and detraction of the original book. So that's why I rub them out. I don't need to know where Alan bought the book. Although I have noticed that he seemed to frequent the same sort of places each time, and I reckon he must have done very, very well out of certain towns like Cheltenham and places like that. They seem to crop up quite a bit. She Bates. And there we are, Cheltenham. 29th of August 1972, Cheltenham. I need peace. Yeah, that's fine. Nothing to do with that one. Dior by Dior. There we are. I'm not sure if I got that one. It's early science fiction, I suppose. Death of Grass. Not marked as SF, but you could certainly say it was. A little bit grubby, but okay. Pretty sure I got this one anyway. But nice all the same. Slide that pile over there for now. The Proving Flight. A really nice one. A house and its head. Little 5p on there. And they've crossed off the 2 and 6 down the bottom. Shilling inside. Lovely. Yep, that ends up a nice copy. Been after this one. Now, let's have the tape already removed. There's a little dot needs to go on there. I've got this one, but I've got a reprint, so let's look and see if it's a first. Yeah, it is. But it's a first, but it's a little bit grubby. My reprint is mint. It's got sun's fading, but it's still a first printing, which is what I was after, so I'm really pleased to get that. It's one of my favourite books. Yeah, nice cover as well. Yes. Yeah, just a little bit grubby, but not the end of the world. We've got a little 10p inside. Yeah, glad to get that. That's another great one. It's by Jacques Cousteau. Remember, he did his series in the 70s, The Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau. Well, this is his book about diving again. And I watched a few episodes of this series recently, and it's still really good. When did this get published? In 1958. I mean, the TV series, I think, was shot about 10 years after that. And it went on. It had a second series, and it was shot over like 2 or 3 years. What was his ship called again? It wasn't it the Calypso? Yeah, I think a couple of these like that, it's got a little mark on the back, which I think, like this one, I'm going to put a separate pile, and I'm just going to give those books a little polish. We're sort of at that stage now where little marks like that can be taken off. So I'm just going to go back over the books that we've done. And if I feel like that, John Christopher, if I feel they're going to benefit, I'll give them a little polish. Can't do it on all of them, but I'm going to be able to do it on some. So I'll do that little sort out now. It's just if they got a few grubby marks or little stains, it's worth doing then, you know. It's just low grade. There we are. So there's a few there that are going to be polished in a little while. This one's got tape on. Lots of it, in fact. Yeah, that's all right. So, yeah, that pile instead. Getting my piles mixed up. And this one's a little bit rough. It's also got a bit of tape in the top. There we go. Yeah, just a little bit worn, this one. A little bit, yeah, sort of foxed, but not much. The Colette. Misprinted. The corners are overcut like that. So we'll leave those as is. 5p or a shilling. There we are. I'm just going to give that little bit there a polish. So you clean that bit up. This one's had a couple of splatters on it. Thin ice. Yeah, that's fine. Flying in. Yeah, a little mark there. I might give that a try. Specks of love. That's lovely. That's a nice copy of that one. Another one in the selected short story series, which I really like. Yep, that's absolutely fine. Alibi Innings. Looks like it had previous owner's initials on the front. MKH. Yeah, that's okay. Confidence Man, Felix Kroll. £10p and £12p coming out. He's a little grubby, that, so I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of the dirt up off that one, maybe. This one's rough. Look at the tape inside. The last grain, this is an awful bit of tape. Yeah, not a nice copy, this one, I'm afraid to say. Yeah, that, I don't think we can get that out. That is awful. It's not like his traditional tape, but the spines there, it is really not nice, that. I'm going to see if we can get into it through the back way in a minute. Yeah, I don't like doing this, but in this particular case, there is no other way. The book's hanging on by a thread as it is. Yeah, I don't think it's. I just don't think with that massive bit of horrible tape, I just don't think the book can be saved. It's got scribbling on the front. I think that's a lost cause, that one. So that'll just be. I'll put some glue back in, and it will just go in the pound. The read, if someone wants it as a little reader, maybe, but it's not even. I don't think that great a book, so we'll just pop a little bit of glue on there. It really is awful. So it will just be in the filler box as a stopgap measure for somebody, but I certainly wouldn't want that in my collection. I'd rather not have it. I'd just pick up a double of it down the line, or a copy off eBay. It'll only be a quid or two. Yes, not great, that one. We do have standards, we do. And certainly on these later ones, you don't need to accept anything less than really quite nice condition. Right, Coromdel. Got some tape on it. Maybe even 2 bits of tape, I don't know. No, just one really big, thick, horrible bit. Generally not too bad though. Just that tape mark. The long divorce, oh dear. A few little specks of liquid on this, which might come off with a little bit of polish in a moment. So we'll put that in the pile to the right. That looks like ink to me. Yeah, sadly. That's okay. This one's a little bit the worse for wear as well. Yeah, just a low grade copy really. At least there's no covered in horrible tape. But it's not great, is it? Put a layer of glue in there. Get the spine back in one piece. There we are. Yeah, bit of a rough old copy that won't be going in my collection. It's too far gone. And certainly it's not like it's a rare book or anything. And that's the thing with these. These are just very, very common fiction titles at this point in Penguin history. So they don't, even these crime titles are not like mega money or anything, so a few pounds here or there. If you were picking them off book by book. A little more than what Alan paid for this, which was 2.5p. Apart from that, it's a pretty nice copy. A Woodhouse, Dr. Sally. It's one I've actually got, so I actually have a spare Woodhouse. It's a little bit marked, so I'll give that a polish as well. I might clean up a little bit. The ledger is kept. Little blooming mark on it. I got it. You can sometimes feel it's like a tiny bit of grit or something that's been impacted and pushed into the cover historically. That was all that kept that from being a lovely copy. Anglo-Saxon Attitudes. Angus Wilson. Now, there's a little bit of tape on it, just a slither. Must just be right at the bottom there, but it's still left a mark, which is annoying, isn't it? Because that would have been so much better. That would have been a really nice copy without the tape going on. I mean, virtually unread, I would think, so what a shame. Still nice collectible one, I'm not going to worry about that. It's just a shame that the tape sort of ruined it a little. Yeah, look at that. Anyway, still fairly nice. Now this one I definitely have got. It's a nice one in their short story series. It includes the full story of the time machine in this. It's a nice one. Big book. 352. Oh, look at that. It's actually almost cover detached. So we get the glue on this one. I think for me, out of H.G. Wells's three sort of top sci-fi ones, if you could say The Invisible Man, The Time Machine, and War of the Worlds, my favourite is The Time Machine. I just love that story. More so than the other two by quite a way. But I have got this one already. I think I've pretty much got everything H.G. Wells in Penguin now. There may be some odd reprints I've not got, of course. And I'm not sure about the really later ones, but hopefully we've got those still to come. When we get to, because we're on, this is 13 to 1400 now. So 2 more hundreds, then we'll be halfway through all the main series that I've got. I've still got 200 more puffins to clean, which will be good, because a lot of titles I'm a bit less familiar with, but also books that are around when I was a kid, and I'm expecting to have a few hits of nostalgia when we do the next couple of hundred puffins. There'll be books that I probably read as a kid. I remember reading puffins a lot as a kid. Obviously some of the Roald Dahls and things like that, which came along a little bit later in the 70s, but there's lots of other things that I read that I can remember, and I'm sure they were puffins. It was almost a sign of quality, wasn't it, the puffin books? You sort of knew you weren't going to get anything too awful. And they did publish a lot of real absolute kids' classics, didn't they? Right. I think I'll give that one a bit of a polish because it's a little bit grubby. It might benefit a little bit from the Mr. Sheen. And this is another one I've been waiting to turn up, 1308. I know the number emblazoned on my mind, and the reason why is because I've been looking for a nice first edition of this one for some time, because it was the last John Wyndham I was actually missing in paperback first, and it's this very book. So it seems alright, got a name inside, but it is the first from 1958. So yeah, obviously read a couple of times. I'm going to give it a bit of a polish, but that will at least do for now. A bit of a yellowing spine, but I'm still delighted to grab a copy. This one's quite nice and bright. Making sure the cover doesn't come off, and there we are. You can see, I thought it felt a little bit odd. Just starting to come off. But an easy fix because it's like half on. There we are. Yeah, that's right. It's a fairly clean copy of that one. That's okay. Mystery in the Channel. Freeman Willscroft. Yeah, that one's alright. Tiny little mark, which I might see if I can get off. This one's a little bit more the worse for wear. It's quite a rough copy. Possibly Alan was slightly less strict with these later books, maybe. I don't know. I certainly am. You know, when I've added these books post 1000 to my collection, I've been really quite strict with condition because I didn't really have the room for them, to be honest, you know. So as these go into my collection, even if it's ones that I need, they are still going to have to meet a few certain standards or they won't end up in the collection at all. I'd rather move them on dirt cheap and then look for better copies down the line, you know. But this one may redeem itself. It is a crime. And I don't like to, you know, discard crime if it's one that I haven't got. But as I said, at the same time, we do have standards here. Yes, a bit of a beaten up copy, you could say. But we'll give it a polish as well and see how it's looking then. But I think it's just going to be one of those ones that goes into the pound pile, as they say. That's lovely, that's fine. Movie tie-in, room at the top. Quite a common one, this, so it's surprising that it's in low grade. I think what probably happened was as soon as Alan got a number, that was it. It's crossed off the list. He didn't try and do any upgrading at all. There's a couple which have been doubled up, but generally speaking, you pick up the first, cross it off the list, and that's the end of it, sort of thing, really. So that one, yeah, a little bit on the low grade side, but it is what it is. The Wilder Shores of Love. That's fine on that one. This one's got a later cover design. What was no doubt this was the first time that the number was used, and that usually means that Penguin saved the number for this book, but it didn't actually turn up until much later. So yeah, 1372. So the books we've been looking at have all been from the late 50s, yet this is first published 1964. So that would be the reason why. Woodhouse again, the little nugget. 300 of some sort on the back, whatever that was. Oh, we got some tape to take off. Yeah, that's fine. The Speaking Eye. Little sixpence on the front. Get rid of that. Got some virtually invisible tape here. There we are. Apologies for whacking the camera there. I know you like to see the up-close detail. Yep, that's fine. That's a good one. Yeah, Doors of Perception, Heaven and Hell, Outer Success. I do have a copy of this. So this will be a nice double to have. A slightly dearer one than most from this period. It's a pretty nice copy, so I'm hoping it's an improver on my own one. I'm reckoning it probably is, you know, 3 shillings. Yeah, pleased with that one. What a mess we make. The Boyfriend by Sandy Wilson. That looks like a bit of a play or something, or even a musical. Yeah, the book and the most popular airs of the play. That must be the most popular songs of the play. It's interesting because by this time Penguin did have a separate plays list, so it's interesting that that was published as main series, you know. And that's all right. A couple of little marks on that. I'll see if I can get up with the Mr. Sheen. That one's already had the tape pulled off it. A shilling or 5p. Yeah, that's fine. Death takes small bites. Yeah, that's lovely. The Frenchman and the Lady. Another annoying bit of tape. There we are, look. I could see that glue had died out. It's nasty, but there was really no other way around this one. Let's see if I can squidge some down there. And then along the spine here. Keep that in one piece. I think we just about saved that one. It was borderline, you know, it was borderline. It's a little bit grubby, so I'll give that one some Mr. Sheen in a minute. 24 hours. Another one, look. How many times have we seen it? Books from the same sort of period, all losing their glue. It must just have been the glue that was used. The glue that was used. Go on, stick. It's not really wanting to stick, that one. It's weird. I think it's because the book's got a bit of a spine roll. I got it. Yeah, it just took a bit of time to sort of set that one. And I will give it a polish as well. Right, Memoirs of Hadrian. And what's Hadrian got? This is a really nice, it's a really nice clean copy of that one. So, what a variety, eh? One in the slightly older style, Roman Tales. This one's much worse than the last one we've just seen. Quite grubby, so whatever happens, we'll pop some Mr. Sheena. Oh dear, look. Yeah. So very much the worse for wear. I shall just pop that straight in because that's so low grade. It's not going to be one that I'm going to want to keep myself. I'll look for a better copy, you know. Got to keep the standards there, haven't we? There we are. That's nice. That's good. Knight with Armour. This one's already had the tape removed off it. Look at that. Page blocks come out of the back here. There we are. It's not ideal, but it's better than getting rid of the book, which is actually in pretty nice condition. I don't really want to get shot of that or replace it because that little bit there, and the book's completely readable. So we'll just hope that that keeps that in place over time. Right, Docking Dead. Oh dear. Yeah, it's okay. A little bit grubby, but not too bad. And at that one, which is quite bright, isn't it? The Path to Rome, a Hilaire Belloc. That's a lovely copy of that one. Oh, another one here, selected essays. I think I got this one. Definitely got a few of these. I mean, they evidently liked him because they gave him his own logo, didn't they? The HB there. Another little bit of something. Oh, we got it. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, that's a nice copy of that one. Lovely. Murder included. Yeah, I thought I saw something. A stamp from Israel. Look at that. Amazing. Yep, okay. The Hidden River, Storm Jameson. I'm checking the spines on these because so many of them are, well, as we've seen, a little bit, the worse for wear, really. And we don't want that, do we? Crime at Guildford. Yeah, it's fine, that one. Oh, and another Crime at Guildford, but I see this one's been covered in some sort of laminate, so I guess that's maybe why there's a second copy. And I'm not going to try and get that off. That's going to be a nightmare. And just not worth it. Someone will have that. I mean, it's protected the book quite nicely, but it'll only be in the pound pile because it's got that little cover on. But I think it's actually had a page removed. Look, it's had the page removed, so that's why he's done it. I don't think anyone's going to want that one somehow. Not even in the pound pile, because there's no actual way to see if it's a first. A Penguin Western, The Pioneers. Seen a couple with that little moniker, haven't we? A many splendid thing. I'm not sure if that's sticker residue of some sort on the top. I think it is. In which case, the Mr. Sheen may do quite well having a tackle of that. Else, a very nice copy. So pop that in the machine pile. Don't go near the water. Pretty sure I got that one. Nice copy of that. And Magnus Merriman. 2 bits of tape on this one. getting stubborn. Look at that. It's left a blooming mark. Let's try it from this way around. Yeah, the tape was really ingrained there. So I think we just about saved that from getting any worse. But I think that's just that little tip is what Alan was originally covering up. But yeah, we just saved that from disaster. Wing leader, Johnny Johnson. Gonna try and get a bit of glue in that. That's where it's come away. There we are, that should be enough. So again, a bit of a... These particular era, they do tend to sort of yellow, don't they? There's not many of these that would be really, really nice and bright, which is how a collector would like them. They do tend to yellow a little bit, but I don't mind that. It's just natural aging, I suppose. Yeah, I'll give that one a little polish as well, I think. See, this one in comparison, much, much lighter. Hasn't been in the sun to cause it to yellow itself out. So it does make a difference. Yeah, a perfect woman. There, Belloc. I think I got this one. In nice shape as well. Lovely. My fair lady. Lovely. Maygray's revolver. Oh dear. What has he done with his revolver? That is the question, I suppose. Yeah, that's lovely. Another Maigret. Maigret and the Burglar's Wife. It's a pretty nice copy. On first glance. Just read a couple of times. It's a shame. It's got that little like stamp inside. I don't think that's going to be going anywhere. So we'll just leave it. That's a little wedge of books here. The Impregnable Woman. Really horrible bit of tape on the front. I've got to admit, I am sort of looking forward to the 60s and the start of the slightly better jackets, you could say, you know. at the moment there, this is not my greatest period of Penguin, you know, with design. Yeah, a little bit grubby, that one, to be honest. Let's see. But there's another bit of tape at the top here. There we are. Yes, not great, but it is what it is. Oh, another John Wyndham. Seeds of Time. This one does look as if it's got a bit of paper. Yeah, look, it's come away. So we'll clean it up and see if we can repair it. I said the only one I was missing a nice copy of was the chrysalids. But we have already seen that one today. So let's see. I think we're going to have to go in there. Evidently someone really enjoyed this book. And why wouldn't they? It is John Wyndham after all, and he is great. One of my favourites, as you know. So yes, just a filler, but it's not so bad that it needs to be thrown away. I will give the cover a polish as well. See if I can just jiven it up a little bit. But yeah, not the best of copies, sadly. The wooden overcoat. Sleeper, that's a pretty clean looking one. That's nice. 13 white tulips. $2,000 fathoms down. A few little corrections at the back when someone read this. Not corrections, but calculations there. Still going to get those out. Very, very light pencil. The Honey Siege. Lovely. Okay. Patrick Butler for the defence. 20th of May, 72 Tewkesbury. That's going to have a polish, that one. Gold Ashes, this one definitely will do. Freeman Wills Croft again. Dear, oh dear. This pen particularly hard to get. Ridiculous. Let's try this way round. Oh my goodness. This is awful. Got it from the spine side. That is a really, really stubborn bit of tape. Got it now. Now we're going to need to pop a little bit of glue in, which is what he was repairing to begin with. In there. Bit of a squidge out there, but we don't mind that. What a mess, Alan. Just saying, if you're watching this, your blimmin' tape. Anyway, that needs a good polish in a sec. Right. Sea Mystery. Yep, there we are. But it does need to polish. That's just that one, just a touch. So I reckon we've probably got the best part of all the 100 that were published in this particular 100. I reckon we've got most of them. And this is one last B format, the Knotted Alice. Now this one came out as a puffin as well. I believe the puffin's much harder to get. But we also brought out like the adult edition, which is really nice, as you can see. The Tenniel illustrations. Yeah, very, very nice. So there we are. So that's all the books. So we now need to polish and then brush. Okay, so we'll give these this small pile a bit of a polish. So I'm going to get myself a clean bit of cloth here. We'll go for that corner there, and I've got Mr. Sheen. And I get it nicely impregnated and then dab it in. And what we're going to try and do is get like these little stains and stuff where stuff has been spilt on the covers. Sometimes it brings it right up. Other times, you know, it's a waste of time. But generally speaking, it does make a bit of a difference on books that are a little bit dirty. course, the other big problem with these ones from this period is that this is a time when a lot of people were smoking, the 1950s, and the spines tend to yellow up with nicotine. It's just a fact of book collecting. So nowadays, of course, there wouldn't be any book collector who would, even if they smoke, they wouldn't smoke near their books, because it does ultimately over time leave, damage the spines and leaves nicotine. Conversely, even before that, when people perhaps weren't so, didn't perhaps smoke so many cigarettes, but there was pipe smoking, and also there was a percentage of the population that had coal fires, and that caused the same sort of damage. It would leave layers of soot. So I have once had a penguin collection come my way of really early books from the 1930s, and the bookcase was literally next to the fireplace. So all the books, they were in dust wrappers, the early ones, as I said, but all the books were like sooted up. It was a crying shame. But I'm glad to see some bits of this is coming up quite nicely. This is definitely worth doing before we give them the final brush down. I like the books to be looking as good as possible before I compare them to the ones that I might have already in my collection, so I've got the best copy, and then I'll put them into price piles. Well, I'm planning to do that tomorrow. In actual fact, I'm going to do another 100. So I've done the first. I've done 1,000. I've done 500 to 1,500. Then I'm going to have all those sorted by price, and then I'm going to pull a few wants lists that I've been emailed, which is considerable. So I can get a few more out the door, which will be good. I will, in the fullness of time, be doing a sales video on my main channel of the stuff that I've got left. So if you're interested, drop me an email now before I do that. But in actual fact, by the time you see this, chances are, it's going to be a couple of months down the line, and I definitely would have already done the sales video. So scrub that. Old news. See, some of these it's going to work. Some of it, like that tea stain there or coffee, you just have to live with that, I'm afraid. These will no doubt go around the houses again at some point and be cleaned one last time. But I'm sure this isn't the last big penguin collection that's going to come my way. I've actually got a couple of other people who are interested in offloading big collections. But obviously I can't do anything at the moment because I'm a little bit bogged down with books. I think that's a bit of an understatement. I think we are making some slight improvements to these. Some of it's quite subtle. Right, look at the muck we've got off that little pile of books. So get into a fresh corner here. It's quite amazing, isn't it, when you start cleaning up books, how much dirt you can get off them. Yeah, another stain that's sadly not going to come off. Now with this one, you can sort of see the white mottling. Let's get that right up close. Can you see the white mottling there? So I'm hoping. Yeah, see, initially the polish takes that off. The trick is, does it keep it off or does it come back? Yeah, it looks like that has improved that one. And last one. And if you remember, had the felt like stickiness, but it's not moving. Right, there we are. So now we have 5 piles of books that need a darn good brushing, and that is going to be agony in this heat, so I'm just letting you know. Okay then, so let's get these brushed. It is stifling hot in here, so hope you're appreciating the agony that I'm going through here as we give these a little gentle brush. This is one of those times when I wish I could be outside doing this brush, because it would make things much easier. But it doesn't take long. This is the last little bit. So as I come to the end, do please, if you've not already, hit the subscribe button. I mean, I've been doing this channel for, is it 2 years now? Yeah, 2 years at least. And I only do 1 video a week, and I think I've only missed it once in 2 years where I've not been able to put a video up. I think it was because I fell ill and I literally couldn't speak. So if you've not already, do please hit that subscribe button, because it doesn't cost anything. It does help the channel get a little bit more exposure from Mr. YouTube, and that is really, really important. So if you are able to hit it, please do. The other thing you might want to consider, so if you've really been enjoying, either of my channels, is maybe supporting me on Patreon or through YouTube channel memberships. Now, you can do that from as little as £1 or $1, and you can go to patreon.com/Jules Burt, or you can go to my main channel, the Jules Burt channel, and click join. And once again, from as little as £1, so you get your name in the credits, unless you specifically ask not to be. And I'll be able to, each month, even if it's just £1, if you do it through Patreon, they only take about like 10%, if that. The rest of it all goes straight to the creators, whereas YouTube tend to take about 30%. So if you can, through Patreon is the better option. And it's just a monthly contribution to keep the lights on here. YouTube revenue, particularly during the summer, is very, very up and down. It doesn't tend to be a great time to be making videos in the summer, I guess because people are on holiday, so the views aren't generally that good, but also the advertisers don't seem to pay that much in the summer. It's very much seasonal. And not that I do this for the money, but the compensation does help me keep the equipment and the lights on and everything else, because there certainly are expenses involved in running 2 channels, not least of which having an accountant for starters, so I don't fall foul of the tax man and things like that, so these things are expensive. And although I'm not looking to make a living off it, although I'd love to, a little contribution can go a long way. The other method you can do it is, if you want, is you can leave underneath the videos, there's a little heart with a $sign in, and that's what's called a super thanks. So you can just leave like a one-off thank you for the video donation, and that, once again, I think is like $1.99 or something like that, so up to as much as $50. And I've only ever had 2 or 3 of those, so that would be really nice if I had a super thanks. That would be brilliant. But anyway, even if you can't, I am more than happy to be just to know that you're watching, really, and that you appreciate the content. So always leave a comment if you do. really enjoy a particular video, and I shall. It does spur me on to keep making them, you know. So next week, potentially, well, the next week I think I'm going to have to do 1400 to 1500, simply because I got quite a few people waiting on those particular books, and after that we shall be doing another 100 Puffin books, I think. Puffin 200 to 300. Some of the other bits have now been covered in my pickups videos on my main channel, so do check those out. The Puffin picture books, for example, have now been done, and they were very, very nice indeed. But yeah, thanks for watching today, and I'll look forward to seeing you again in a week's time. Bye.